Need waves in the sun and a bunch of pretty girls on the beaches. They got friends, they like fun. Tell them come through sweet like peaches. I got songs dripping out. That's one of my primary features. Know my songs stop playing on the speakers. Hit it at the bar like a swing for the bleachers. I got gas in my car. Jet fuel got me going like rockets out of this world. I'm a star. Feel good with some money in my pocket. Baby, I'm spinning. We living. Gotta go out 'cause tomorrow ain't giving. If it come through, it don't make no difference. I ain't tripping, nah. Look, I don't care where we go. I don't care where we been. I don't care if that water's deep. I might have to jump in. I don't care.
Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
You know, I'm not exactly sure how many times that it can absolutely pour down rain in about 20, 25 minutes, then stop, and then the clears out, and then the sun comes out, and it gets about 150,000 degrees with humidity. It's happened at least twice to me today, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Hump Day edition, Wednesday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle right here inside the Action Sports Jack studio. We've got a lot to cover, and we got a lot of people coming on to help us get that done. Number one, we welcome Zach Rothrock. Our buddy Zach is back running the show today. Our main man, Casey Kurtz, out of town with a wedding, I think, and around the holidays. Zach, number one, welcome back. Number two, I'm not real happy that you walked all up in the studio with a better shirt than me. What the hell? Where the hell did you get that
I know.
shirt?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the veteran fill-in person that I am. You know,
Yes.
I know that you like to make a talking point of the shirts, and so you know, I went ahead and got a spice
thing
one.
I got on. I've got this thing. Look, the white buttons around, and look, it's got the little thing here. Look at it, and the white watch pops. And I felt all frisky today wearing this outfit.
Oh, you're saying if I went to a restaurant and the bartender was wearing your shirt, I would feel like he'd make a very good dry martini.
Yes, exactly. And then you walk in and top me like this.
Yeah, and I'm the person that orders it and drinks it.
You're the guy that orders it and drives out.
Yeah, I'd get a Long Island iced tea wearing this. Though.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then you're the guy that walks out of the bar and the valet says, "May I get your Lamborghini, Mr. Rothrock?" And you say yes.
That's never happened.
That would be
maybe one day.
Wonderful. Number one, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm
Doing
fantastic.
Doing good heading into
It's
the
middle
holiday.
of the summer.
Yeah, middle of summer heading into the holiday weekend. Number 2, we got a lot of stuff to cover. Major League Baseball got a lot of games final already. We had a bunch of early kind of getaway games where teams will jump on a plane and get ready for their big weekend series. A lot of stuff happening in Major League Baseball, man, coming up on the All-Star break. We got Brent Beaird a little bit later. I've got some thoughts on the SEC, the Big Ten. They're kind of fighting a little bit. I'm not so sure that's a bad thing. We'll do a Major League Baseball whip around. If anybody out there is looking for a summer vacation plan, maybe you haven't made your plan yet, I've got an idea for you. As a matter of fact, I've got a VRBO for you, if you so choose. Particularly if you're maybe a Chicago Bull fan, if you're a Chicago Cubs fan, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, I'll tease it like that. And man, we've got what I think, being serious for a moment, I think we're going to have a hell of a discussion later today about 505 with Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Man, I don't know, Zach, if you and I have visited much about this since it really, really has festered. But the NBA is starting to get a little concerned now about the number of Achilles injuries, where that puts somebody out for at least a year minimum. The NBA, the most recent Achilles was Halliburton in the finals.
Right.
He went down in front of everybody, and he was the 7th NBA basketball player this year to go down and be rendered basically out for the year, the next year. 7 have happened this year. Last year, 0. The year before and all the years before, the most have been 4. So the NBA is a little concerned. They have commissioned a massive study. And I want to talk to Dr. Bates, and I hope we all have some questions for him. What goes into the study? I know I've got several questions. If I was implementing the study, I would ask, and they may be stupid, but there are several things, including, I would say, might we need to look at the basketball shoe? Has the basketball shoe gotten more fashionable than functional?
For sure.
I would ask about that. But there's questions. You know, what are the ages of these guys going down? When do they go down in the season? On and on and on. But I'm looking forward to Dr. Bates. And, you know, I've told him what we're going to talk about, and he'll have a great perspective on this. But I'm also going to throw this, and I hate to give away the whole segment, but Doc will be at around 5:05. I'm also going to throw this out, Zach, and I haven't heard many people throw this out about Tommy John throwing so hard, blowing your arm out. Basketball, Achilles, you know, because I think the Achilles injury in basketball is the Tommy John injury, right? I think it's the Tommy John of basketball, the Achilles. I mean, this is that thing that just, you don't want to hear it when it happens. Your guy's done for well over a year. Just done.
Oh, yeah. Halliburton's going to miss at least a very large portion of this upcoming season, not the whole thing. And Tommy John almost feels like a rite of passage type of injury.
And I'm going to ask Doc, though, one thing that I wanted to address, him to address, and maybe it is going to get addressed in this, maybe, and I'm just throwing this out, maybe, all of these modern Tommy John injuries in baseball pitchers, right? Mm-hmm. From Little League through the bigs. Maybe this plethora, it appears that we're in with Achilles blowouts and ruptures. Maybe it's just the natural evolution of the modern athlete.
Yeah,
maybe the athlete is so big and strong that this is just naturally going to happen, and 20 more years from now, maybe the Tommy John ligament and the Achilles tendon just through evolution toughens up, and then we move on to the next. Maybe it's just evolution. I don't know, but I'm going to ask the doc about all that.
Maybe. That'd be some pretty heavy, freaky stuff. It's like Tyrese Halliburton's son is going to develop a stronger Achilles potentially.
Zach, if we track, and you see me waving at you with my pinky finger here.
I see that.
If we track the Rothrock's back all the way through the low country of South Carolina, hundreds upon thousands, we used to didn't have a pinky finger, and we evolved, right? I think we evolved into a pinky finger, didn't we?
I'm not saying that this isn't the silliest thing you've ever said.
Yeah. Are you implying that I've said silly things over the years?
Yeah, the bar's pretty low for that statement.
You shut your filthy mouth. Who invited you back today? Why are you here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was very many people that were willing to do it. So yeah, it's pretty low pool. So
we're stuck with you today and tomorrow, right?
Yeah, here I am.
Today, tomorrow, and then we got Big Ben coming in next week. Gosh darn.
Oh, there you go.
Too bad Big Ben couldn't have done the whole vacation. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Zach,
that's what it goes. Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to get to today. I do want to go over some Major League Baseball. A lot of stuff has happened already today. Okay, finals. We got a bunch of finals. And Zach, I don't know how far you have tracked baseball. We're right at the halfway point. When the All-Star game comes around, which is July 13th, so we've got the rest of this week. Next Sunday, the 13th, is the final game. Then they take off about 4 days. That following Tuesday is the All-Star game. The All-Star game we consider the halfway point, but it normally falls in around 90 games, right? 81 is halfway. But they play like almost 100 games before the break. With that said, we've got a pretty good case study now. I think we know who's good in Major League Baseball, who's pretty good, who's kind of good, who's really good. So these games are starting to matter now. All right, let me go over some finals, and we'll talk some baseball here, how these finals play. Final, earlier today, Tampa Bay has defeated the Athletics. Tampa's really good, and they're red hot. The Athletics aren't very good. The Athletics had the lead early in this game. Tampa came back. That is a big deal because Tampa and Toronto are absolutely nipping at the Yankees' heels.
Yeah, just one game back, halfway through the season.
As of right now, including this half game gain, because the Yankees play later tonight. We'll get to that. Tampa and Toronto are one game behind the Yankees right now. The Yankees have not played great baseball in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I believe the Yankees, I think they had like a 10-game lead at one point. Maybe not quite that much.
They were big.
They had a pretty nice lead.
They had been up. So, right now, Tampa has put their win on the board. They're a game back. But 7:07 tonight, first pitch, Yankees are taking on Toronto. Toronto and Tampa are chasing the Yankees. They're both a game back. So if Toronto knocks off the Yankees this evening, look out, my man.
Man, is that prime time? Is that a ESPN game?
That is showing, I just see 7:07 first pitch. I don't know. I'm showing Prime Video. What does that mean?
It means on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. But you've got,
There you go.
and again, let me get to the standings here. But what a nice day for Tampa. It's nice. It's like a golfer that goes out early. You throw your name on the board, your number on the board.
Yeah, I think if Toronto won, they would be dead. They'd be exactly tied. Dead even.
So you've got
I don't know how the tiebreaker would work.
Tampa, 48 wins, 39 losses. They got their win earlier today. They're in the clubhouse today. They're one game back of the Yankees. They're basically percentage points almost tied with Toronto. Toronto, 47 and 38, but they're playing the Yankees later tonight. Yankees, 48. So Tampa has 48 wins. They're in the clubhouse, one behind right now. They got a win today. They've got 48 wins. The Yankees have 48. Toronto has 47. If Toronto wins tonight, this evening, you've got 3 teams with 48 wins in the AL East. And man, oh man, this is going to get fun.
I mean, it feels like it's pretty likely that at least one of those teams would just straight up plummet throughout the stretch. Who do you think would be the most likely of those 3 to just dive and just fall out?
You know, that's a Kate Kistner question who comes on with us. But he has kind of intimated, I think, that – because I'll ask him, I go, the last couple of weeks, I'm like, look at Tampa hanging around. Look at Toronto hanging around. Boston's falling down in that division.
Yeah.
And I said, are these guys going to be able to stay? Do they have staying power? I think, and I don't want to quote him, but I think he said Tampa Bay may be the one he would think would fall off. And it might have been with overall pitching. But right now, I mean, they are in the thick. So
that's all you can really do is stay afloat.
Yeah. And why not? And why not? So Tampa Bay has their win today, and you got to beat the Athletics. I think you got to beat the Athletics. Earlier today, final. Don't look now, and this doesn't matter. The Pirates, 5-0 winners over St. Louis. St. Louis is good. The Pirates, yesterday, the Pirates won. How pirate is this? Yesterday, the Pirates won their game 1-0. Skeens went 5 innings, no decision. They just can't score for my man, even
very
though they
rarely.
Won. Another big game is that it has gone final in Major League Baseball earlier today, and I think they will play a second game because of a rainout last week. San Diego, who's trying to hold on. The Dodgers are bullying everybody right now. San Diego earlier today beat Philadelphia 6-4. So that would help the Mets. But we look at other finals today. Earlier today, Detroit bombed Washington 11-2. Milwaukee, who is in the thick of the wild card race in the National, they beat the Mets. So the Mets have already lost. Philadelphia lost, but the Mets lost. Philadelphia has a 2-game lead. And don't look now. Do you know who's got the longest winning streak in Major League Baseball right now? It's crazy.
It looks like the Miami Marlins potentially
How
to be that team.
about the Marlins at 8 wins in a row? And have you seen
above the Braves?
I was going to say, great pull right there. Look at the standings, NL East. All of a sudden, who's in 4th place? Not the Marlins. The Braves have dropped a half game behind the Marlins. Yeah. What a disaster.
Yeah,
and
Phillies Mets way out in front.
And an announcement today we'll ask Dr. Bates about if we've got time. Spencer Schwallenbach, one of the few healthy starters for the Braves, he's out for at least a couple of weeks. It was discovered today. After like a 10-strikeout performance on Saturday, Schwallenbach said he kind of had some soreness on Sunday. They look at his elbow. Fractured elbow, out 4 weeks at least. How about that?
Yeah, they're having one of those snake bitten type seasons.
They really are. They really are. And again, if Schwallenbach had gotten hit by a line drive to the elbow, okay, you go, okay, fractured elbow. No, he pitched a wonderful game this past Saturday. Had a bunch of strikeouts. There was not a traumatic, you know what I mean? It wasn't like he got ran into by a guy with a helmet on or took a line drive. He just announced to the team on Sunday, hey, man, I'm a little sore after that good outing. They look at it image-wise, fractured elbow. Fractured elbow.
Yeah, I mean, guys try to play through pretty much anything. And there you go. And checking in with just the standings, the Rockies are sitting at 19 wins still. They haven't broken 20 wins yet.
They messed around and won a couple weeks ago. We're like, what are you doing? What do you do?
I don't think they're gonna catch anybody. Even the White Sox have 28.
And the White Sox, they set the record? The modern baseball record
a couple of years ago.
They had like 42. You play 162. They were
fans were booing when they were winning.
They were like 42 and 110 because you play or 120. You play 162 games, and they won 42. The Rockies, I think earlier this week. The Rockies hit the 81 game mark. 81 is halfway, right? 81, and they had the worst 81 game record of anybody in the modern era. Now they messed around and won the next day, but I think they've lost 2 or 3 in a row since then. So we've kidded around this, and you can't do what I'm going to suggest if you're ownership of the Rockies because it just looks bad. But don't you know some of the Rocky ownership are right now in closed meetings, Zach, saying, we could probably, in a reverse psychology way, we could probably promote the rest of the season all this bad baseball.
It happened for the White Sox. They started selling out games towards the end.
Yeah.
They got the talent to do it.
Think about the promotions. You can't do it because of what it looks like to your home city. You can't say, okay,
and they're not opening.
You can't come out and say, okay, every fan that comes to the Rockies game at home the rest of the year, every inning they don't score free beer, right?
Yeah. You got to drink it away.
But they want to do something like that.
Yeah, you got to do that on your burner Twitter account. You can't do it on the real account.
Yeah. Hey, you know that beer garden way in the outfield? Don't tell anybody. But every home game when the Rockies, every inning they don't score a run, it's free beer until the next first pitch.
There you go.
But you can't. Isn't that a shame, though? You can't do that if you're ownership because you're poking fun at your own horrible franchise and people pay money to go see your horrible franchise.
No, that's how you get sell the team chance.
I think that's all the scores. Let me go back and see, make sure. Busy early day. And then again, we've got games that are very, very monumental coming up tonight. Yeah, San Diego beat Philadelphia. It looks like they're going to play a second game at 6:15, San Diego, Philadelphia. So the Phillies right now still hold the 2-game lead over the Mets because the Mets lost. The Mets lost. So San Diego, Philadelphia, 6:15 first pitch. Minnesota, Miami, the Marlins. Can they keep the winning streak? How about that? They're on an 8-game winning streak, and they're still 11 behind first place. But
they jumped out to a big start.
But they've positioned themselves right now for the wild card, the third wild card. They're starting to get there.
That's probably what they're playing for.
Yeah, 6:45, Detroit, a really good baseball team. Detroit takes on Washington. 7:07 is the big game to keep an eye on. The Yankees on the road at Toronto. And the Yankees blew a chance to win yesterday. At one point, the Yankees were beating Toronto, I want to say like 4-1, and they lost 12-6. Just a bad loss. The Yankees are in a bad stretch right now. Cincinnati, Boston, they go at 7-10. Milwaukee, a good baseball team. Unfortunately, they're in the Cubs division, and the Cubs are really good. Milwaukee is at the Mets, so Milwaukee is trying to keep the Mets down. The LA Angels at Atlanta. The Braves, man, if they don't make a run here the last 10, 12 games of the first half, I don't think they've even got a shouting chance for the third wild card. They need to make
No, it's starting to look pretty grim already.
Cleveland is at Chicago. The Cubs. Baltimore, a little bit later tonight, is at Texas. And Houston, a really quiet team. Houston's a good baseball team. They've had a plethora, good word use. They've had a plethora of injuries, but Houston keeps winning. They've got Colorado. You got to love that. And then my boy Jack Caglione tonight, 9:40, the Royals, and Caglione will take his 151 batting average. 151, Zach. Caglione.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but
at Seattle. And Kansas City, we talk about, they're 40-46. So if you're Kansas City's management, you've got some decisions to make. Now, they're 40-46, but you look at the standings and then you click on wild card. They're still kind of in the wild, there's 3 wild cards, right? So Kansas City is 4.5 back from that third wild card. Where I'm going with this is the time of year, if you're a baseball program, if you're a baseball organization, you've got to do a couple things. You've got to, decide, are we buyers or sellers? Because the trade deadline is the 31st. So you got to kind of decide as a organization, do we think we've got a shot in hell at a wild card spot? Or do we say, no, we don't? If somebody wants one of our good players and we think we can get better, or if we want to bring up guys and develop them, it's a tough time.
Yeah.
If you're Kansas City, you're sitting here going, okay, they've got like 12 games left before the break. You with me, Zach? 12 games left. If you're Kansas City, here's the Royals' plight, if you're management. 12 games left before the All-Star break. They're 4.5 games out of that third wild card in the American League. So you would prefer, in a weird way, that the next 12 games, you would rather you want your team probably to go 2-10, and that tells you we're out of this thing. We might can send Caglione back down, let him develop. We're not going to trade. Now, if you go 6-6, it's a tough call. Do you start developing players, or do you go, we're still in the running for the third wild card spot? Tough call. Real tough call.
Yeah, and the Braves are kind of in that same spot. And I kind of think they should lean towards sellers. Because the whole, what is it, the Central, they're all ahead of the Braves. Basically everyone in the West except for the Rockies is ahead of the Braves. And then obviously whoever it is that does win the division between the Phillies and Mets is going to win one of those.
Absolutely. So right now, that's a great point. The Braves are 7.5 games out, right? Of the wild card,
right.
The last wild card spot. So if you're the Braves right now, you are going, and I don't know if they've got anybody contract-wise and on-field playing-wise that would be a great draw.
Yeah.
But there's two things. Either do you say we're sell and let's see if we can get a trade and make our team better with the trade, or do you say let's sell, this is not our year, let's start bringing up our hot shot prospects from AAA and develop them? It's a tough call, man.
I think they got so much talent, and that lead is not insurmountable.
Yeah.
We want to hold, but I would wait until maybe like 2 weeks from now, maybe
Yeah.
3 weeks from now, and then kind of reassess.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
it could get out of hand in that time.
Here's how good the Dodgers have been playing. And that division's hell. I mean, San Diego's good. San Francisco's good. Arizona has been making the playoffs the last 3 or 4 years and upsetting people. That is a good division. Don't look now. The Dodgers have started playing great ball. Let me go back where they're at. The Dodgers are up like 8 games, which is unheard of in that division.
Yeah, everyone but the Rockies are above 500, and the Diamondbacks are still 10.5 games out.
Yeah. So the Dodgers, as tough as their division is, they have put it together the last 2 weeks. They played San Diego, San Francisco, San Diego, and they went like 7-3 in those series. The Dodgers lead San Diego by 7.5, San Francisco by 9, the Diamondbacks by 10.5. And the odd thing, Zach, I don't think this is going to hold, but the odd thing, as good as the West is, the NL West, I think everybody agrees that's the best division in baseball, top to bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Even with the Rockies.
if the playoffs ended right now, only the Dodgers would make it. How weird is that?
Oh,
Now,
yeah,
that's
they
gonna change.
cannibalize each other.
Yeah, great word. And I had that written down yesterday. They've cannibalized each other. Now, that's going to work itself out, I think. But literally, if the playoffs ended right now, the Dodgers from the AL West they're the division winner. They would make it. And it was only like 2 weeks ago, Zach, that 2 of the next 3 wild card, if you take the division winner, division, and then wild card, 2 of the 3 wild card were going to be San Diego and San Fran. Right now, no.
Well, I do
Right
have right now San Diego.
San Diego would sneak in.
They're holding on by half a game over the Cardinals.
And you know what? I think the Cardinals lost earlier today.
Yeah.
Is why.
Yeah, well, yeah, so it updated.
This morning when I looked at it, they wouldn't have. But yeah, the Cardinals just lost. But isn't that weird? That tells you how good the Dodgers have been playing. They've been roughing up 2 really good franchises.
Only 30 losses at this point. Almost inverse of the Rockies' record.
Yes. How about that? Here's another thing in the Dodgers' favor. We're coming up on the trade deadline, right? The 31st of July, the end of the month. If you think you need to add one more arm or one more bat or what have you, how about the Dodgers? It appears now, in a weird way, they've already had their big trade. They found a big right-hander, it looks like, in a guy named Ohtani.
Yeah,
It
when
looks
you
like
bring back a guy like that.
He's starting to stretch his outings. It looks like in about another 3 or 4 weeks, Ohtani's going to be a full-fledged starter. They're going to the Dodgers are finding $20 in their pants pocket. You know how you do that when you go to do laundry?
Oh, I think that's 100.
Yeah, they found 100.
Yeah, found 100.
But I mean,
Oh, yeah.
how about that? The rich get richer. They don't even have to make a trade to get another arm, it looks like. Ohtani's just going to pop up and be Ohtani.
Yeah, and when he pitches, he's great. Historically, even though his outings have been short. So I mean,
Sure.
when you add, frankly, a Cy Young level talent to your already World Series winning rotation, yeah, I mean it's got to be
impressive.
tough to look at as a Braves fan to see how close you were and how far away you are now versus how close the Dodgers are again.
Yeah, it was. And, the Dodgers had one period near the start of the season, 3-4 weeks in, I think it was. The Dodgers kind of scuffled around a little bit, but boy, they have put it back. They have put it back together. They're obviously the odds-on favorite to win the World Series, barring crazy stuff happening.
Oh, yeah, they got to be. I haven't looked at the odds in a while, but they've got to be. They might even be almost like right at minus money, like plus 200 or something like that.
You know where the All-Star Game's at this year?
I could not tell you.
ATL, baby.
Okay.
Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta. There you go.
Hot Atlanta, the All-Star Game. And I think, I may be wrong.
Plus 210. I about nailed that.
Nice.
Is what the Dodgers
You
are.
little-
Here you go.
You little gambler. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, the All-Star game this year is in Atlanta in a couple weeks, Major League Baseball. I think it is in Atlanta because a couple of years ago, Atlanta lost it. Maybe from a political standpoint or something. Didn't Atlanta lose the All-Star? Was that Atlanta?
I do not remember this being a story. I could look into it.
Yeah, and you will in the break. How about that?
All right, fair
As we
enough.
take a break, let me tell you, we talked a lot of baseball. Let's talk some basketball. If you've got a basketball player in your life, in your family, he or she may be wanting to improve their game. They're a current basketball player now. Maybe they're new to the game, or maybe they just want to go out for their middle school team or high school team, or improve their college skills. They're already on a college team. Whatever level your basketball player is at, the Jacksonville Basketball Academy has a summer camp for that boy or girl basketball player in your life. Camps will run all the way through early August, so you've still got plenty of time. They run 4 or 5 days during the week. Certainly, your basketball player will learn shooting technique, rebounding technique, passing technique, all the physical skills, but they'll also learn teamwork, understand the game, and have a lot of fun, and really have a lot of fun this summer. So if you've got a basketball player in your family looking to camp somewhere, you cannot go wrong. Just look them up on Google. Jacksonville Basketball Academy. Jacksonville Basketball Academy. Coach Jim Martin from Providence owns and operates this academy. It's been around. It has legitimacy, great instruction as well. Jacksonville Basketball Academy, the basketball camps are running all the way through August. Plenty of time to get signed up for your basketball player. You'll be glad you did. All right, one segment down, a long way to go. A lot of other topics we'll get to. A little more baseball we'll get to. Vacation ideas. Zach, if you guys haven't picked out a vacation destination, I'm going to suggest something for you when we come back. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat. I can't wait.
Vacation season. Get your credit card out. You may want to jump on this because when I say it, there's going to be a lot of people that want to jump on this destination. Think Chicago. Think the Windy City. You ever been there? You ever been there? I've never been to Chicago.
I have not.
I have not. Man, it'd be great for you and your wife.
There you go.
Find a babysitter.
Yeah.
Go to the Windy City. So get your credit card out, folks. I've got the VRBO for you if you think Chicago, Bears, Bulls, whatever. You don't want to miss it. One down, a long way to go. We'll come back with more of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax Pal.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
To you live from the Action Sports Jack studios. Zach Rothrock producing. Patrick Young at a medical procedure. Nothing's wrong, just a standard procedure. He hopes to join us in a little bit. We've got Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and we've got some Barney music in the background. I like it. What's that Barney music? Barney, the purple dinosaur. The purple dinosaur. The purple dinosaur. Barney, Barney, Barney.
It's a jingle known as Piano Delight. I'm not really familiar, but, it's
the
playing.
Purple Dinosaur.
There you go.
The Purple Dinosaur. Why do we have Barney playing?
I'm glad that
His name is Barney. He's a
I don't
Purple
know.
Dinosaur.
It's called Piano Delight. It was just next on the rotation. You like that?
Who doesn't?
I think it's fun.
That's some jam right there.
Yeah.
The Purple Dinosaur. The Purple Dinosaur. His name is Barney, Barney. Not Barney Rubble. He's a purple dinosaur. Do we have any way to cut the music off at all? Or are we stuck with the music the rest
I definitely
of
can,
the
but
show?
why would I do that when you're clearly you're scat man? You're scat man, and I didn't want to stop that.
You remember how big Barney was? I don't mean physically. My God, that purple
I
dinosaur.
understand the metaphorical side.
Oh, that purple dinosaur. How does that happen? So some dude somewhere, 40 years ago probably, Zach,
It was a while back, yeah.
some dude, maybe some woman, walked into a marketing meeting, a toy headquarter meeting, and said, I got an idea. A big-ass purple dinosaur that talks and is fun and is happy.
Well, I mean, honestly,
How the hell's that happen?
I mean, if you really want to go down this road, I would imagine that, legitimately, he said, "Hey, you see that show, that big ass yellow bird? I got an idea."
Big Bird, yeah.
yeah, I got an idea.
Big Bird's running roughshod.
We can kind of do that here, but just do it a little different with
Yeah.
a dinosaur, and then we'll
Yeah,
sing
I
songs.
like it. I like that theory. Hey,
Yeah, that's how it got sold. There you go.
why does who says this Big Bird guy gets all the money?
Yeah, I can get in a
then-
suit.
But have you ever thought, take it a step further? Somebody, somewhere, legitimately walked into a high-priced company and said, I got an idea.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a character named SpongeBob.
Oh man,
He's going to have square pants. He'll live.
you're really speaking to my my childhood and my
your
generation.
jam.
here
This
with
is your jam. But I mean,
Barney right into SpongeBob.
you got to have some you-know-whats to say. Okay, here's the meeting. Okay, who else? Okay, This is our research and development meeting. Okay, guys, we need some new stuff. What do we got? I tasked you guys 2 weeks ago to come up with something. All right, and they've gone through several things. Okay, Zach, what do you got? Okay, here's what I got. He's going to be called SpongeBob. He's going to live under the sea. He's going to have square pants. I mean, how do you initially throw that out in a professional setting and not be worried you're just going to get bombarded and maybe fired?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely quite a thing. I mean, it's difficult to make animation. These guys probably spent a good 6 to 9 months making the initial pilot when they showed it to the Nickelodeon people. And so if they look at it and they say no, you
Zach,
really
if
just
you and I
wasted
did
everything.
that would the presentation would last about 30 seconds, and they'd say, "Get the hell out of our meeting. What kind of a drug-infested idea is this?"
Yeah.
Well, think about 30 years ago, maybe 30 or 40 years ago. Somebody, Mike Judge, I guess, had to walk into some big-time meeting at, MTV?
MTV's who bought it, yeah.
And say, here's the idea. I got this character named Beavis and this other one named Butthead.
Mm-hmm. And it worked out.
The Simpsons. Somebody said, here they are. Here's this animated family and the smart aleck son and a bumbling dad and a do-good mother and a why is she in the family daughter? She's too smart and good for the family, right?
I mean, I could really nerd out on this one, but it was a skit on the Tracy Ullman show.
I remember the Tracy Ullman.
And they pitched it as if it were going to be an animated version of the Cosby Show.
I remember it well.
So they said we're going to take this skit and we're going to make it the Cosby Show, but animated. And since it's animated, we'll be able to get away with a lot more controversial things. And we're going to make him yellow, so when people flip to their TV, they'll say, "Oh man, what is this? This is different." Yep. And then they did that, and now it's more iconic.
I lived it and watched it when it was on Tracy Ullman, and Tracy Ullman had that show on Fox, I think, and it was kind of cutting edge.
Probably.
She was a funny comedian and creative, but yeah, it was born on the Tracy Ullman show. And have you ever gone back and looked at the very first ones, the drawings and the animations?
Crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy.
His head is huge.
They are absolutely crazy. All right, I teased a little bit, Zach. Just in case, and a lot of people probably have yet to take their summer vacation, I would guess.
Correct.
And some people probably don't know where to go. There's, we're going to go to the Keys again. Oh, we're going to go to Amelia Island again. Are we going to go watch the Braves on a weekend again? Right? Are we going to take the kids to D.C. and show them history? Right? A lot of people Jones for vacation. I've got an idea.
A lot of jonesing.
Yeah, a lot of jonesing. What to do. Here you go. Here's the idea. If you've got a cool, number one, you've got to rent this place for 7 days. It's a 7-day minimum. So you've got to have a cool $100,000 because this place is $100,000 for a week.
Okay.
You with me? Can you flash up?
I can.
There you go. You can rent VRBO.
Who owns this place?
I don't know. Who would you think owns this mansion?
Oh man.
23.
Someone who wore 23 in Chicago. Devin Hester for sure.
Yeah, Devin Hester. It's in Chicago.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, you may have hit it.
Yeah.
How about this? Michael Jordan's.
Oh man, I forgot about it. Yeah, that makes sense.
His Chicago Champions Point mansion and grounds in the Highland Park area. You've heard of that. Very, very ritzy area in Chicago. Highland Park. Champions Point. Michael Jordan. By the way, he doesn't live there anymore. You're not vacationing with MJ. But you can go vacation if you've got a cool $100,000. 7-day minimum, so it's $100,000 a week. You can stay in one of Michael Jordan's famous mansions. 7.39 acres. There's the gate right there. Do you have the photo of the opening where you walk into the mansion?
I was not able to get that.
Okay, no problem. But that's the gate. Okay, it's 7.39 acres. Airbnb. So you can look it up on Airbnb, I swear to you. 7 bedrooms. How about this, Zach? 17 and a half bathrooms.
All right, that's fair enough. I can probably potentially use half of those in a week.
12 guests can be accommodated. Now, I don't know if that means in addition to the master, if they're counting that as, husband and wife might be there, but 12 guests. As I said, you have to take this Airbnb a minimum of 7 nights stay. So, on average, and there's always taxes, and generally in Airbnbs, you also have to pay for the cleaning. Right, you've got to pay when you.
Oh, there's a cleaning fee. Oh,
they build in a cleaning fee.
What could possibly be the occasion you would want this for?
I'm guessing the cleaning fee for this bad boy has got to be at least $5,000. So if you wanted to rent this Labor Day week, again, you can't rent it for a day. It's not an Airbnb for a day or two. It's a minimum 7-day stay. Michael Jordan's former Chicago mansion. It would come if you wanted to grab that bad boy from August 29th. Through September 5th, the Labor Day week and weekend. With fees, and I'm assuming cleaning fees, you would have to stroke out $120,920.
All right, you can swing that. It's easy.
Now, here's my thought. That's to get the rental of the mansion and the grounds, and I'll go over everything that's inside. But you don't really want to go there and just stay there. You got to do other things, right? You would think you're going to a Cubs game and a museum, right? So you're looking at probably $200,000 vacation for 7 days.
Yeah, probably minimum, just to go to Chicago.
All right, here's what Michael Jordan's rentable VRBO, whatever. He sold it, by the way. He doesn't have anything to do with this. A guy bought it a year or two ago, right? A guy bought it, an investment banker guy, real estate guy. He bought it for I wrote it down somewhere. He bought it, and now he's VRBO it for like $9.7 million. Now,
he's going to rent this thing out like 100 times still.
Yeah, but I mean, you could get your money back in a few years if you're booked up.
Yeah.
Now, inside, here's what you're getting if you can cough up a cool $100,000 for the week to get Michael Jordan's former Highland Park Champions Point. What do we call it? Not mansion. It's just a compound. Almost a compound, wouldn't it be?
Probably.
It, of course, has a theater in it, a movie theater. It has a full gym. It has a cigar lounge.
Obviously.
Can't you see Michael doing a...
Yeah.
Yeah, my man liked his cigars. Or likes them.
There's no way that thing's going to be booked every week.
I bet. If this owner guy is able to market it nationally, I bet it would. I mean, internationally.
Maybe.
I bet it would. So, it has a wine cellar in it, multiple pool tables.
Yeah.
You're
a golf course in the backyard?
It has, gosh darn, I can't read my writing. Some kind of salon.
There you go. Get manicures and pedicures.
There you go. It has a saltwater aquarium, and my theory is saltwater aquarium gives you more chances, more opportunities to bring different species, probably.
All right.
That live in the ocean.
Probably.
That live in the ocean versus the freshwater.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
because you need a saltwater aquarium in your mansion.
Salty gum.
It also has a full-size basketball court.
Imagine that.
Of course. Yes, it was bought last year by this investment guy, real estate guy, for $9.5 million, and he doesn't live there. He is renting this bad boy out. So you can go to VRBO or Airbnb. It's an Airbnb. And you can find this bad boy. $100,000, 7-day minimum.
All right. You going to get it? Is that where you're going to have the wedding for your daughter? I was actually thinking if you're going to get it for anything, it would probably be for a wedding thing.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
That is a great idea. Now, a spinoff of that great idea. How do you do those crowdfunding things? Because I'm going to need to go ahead and get it started right now.
You got it.
What are those things called? Where people give you money?
GoFundMe?
GoFundMe.
Yeah. Go fund yourself.
Yeah, you go fund yourself, pal. It's your stupid idea. I need $100,000.
You got it. You can swing that.
Need $100,000.
You just have to get like one more sponsor. It's easy.
Oh boy. There was one. I want to go back to the 17 and a half bathrooms in this Michael Jordan mansion that he's moved out.
Yeah.
At some point, did Michael Jordan say, "Hey, honey, this past weekend, while playing pool and shooting baskets and smoking cigars and looking at the going to the gym on campus there, looking at our saltwater aquarium with all of our incredible, I used 16 of our 17 and a half bathrooms. We're outgrowing this place.
Yeah, you need to get a 19th bathroom.
We are outgrowing it. We got to move."
Yeah, probably.
That's
when you got the kids.
When I read this story and put it together for the show today, that's what really struck me. At what point did Michael Jordan and his family go, "This place ain't doing it anymore"?
It's got to go back. I would imagine it's when you got the Bobcats, yeah.
Right? Honey, I did sell a few shoes in my time.
Couple.
Are we really living on a meager 7.39 acre mansion?
Yeah, it's not enough.
Honey, are you telling me we don't even have 20 bathrooms scattered about our little domicile?
Should have 23 bathrooms.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, being serious for a moment, when I saw the gate, when I saw the Jordan gate there to get you onto the premises, and I don't know, I would assume they must have 24 security, right? Because wouldn't you think somebody's stealing that gate in a heartbeat? Wouldn't you love to get a hold of the 23 Michael Jordan
yeah, there's
gate?
got to be cameras and people looking at that at all times. Oh, yeah.
You would think, but there's your entrance. My God, basketball been very, very good to me. You remember that reference? Years ago, Saturday Night Live had a skit where, what was that guy? Garrett Morris. He played a Hispanic baseball guy. Baseball been very, very good to me. He said that was his line. Michael Jordan. Basketball been very, very good. Have you ever seen the story on, and you can look it up, I'm too lazy.
There we go.
Jordan gets like $5 per pair of sneakers sold or whatever. Air Jordans.
Like a lot.
Yeah, see if you can look that up. But I mean, in perpetuity, I think he gets, and you know how many shoes they've sold?
Right.
Air Jordan. And he was the first, right? I mean, that was the first.
At least the first, real big one.
Just busted open.
Yeah.
Just absolutely busted open. See if you get anything on that.
I think it's a 5% royalty on all Jordan brand sales.
My God. I mean,
which on a
annually,
lot of these, I'll be even more than $5 because a lot of these shoes cost well over $200.
You would think. Is it still the dominant shoe? I don't know. I've never been in the shoe world.
I mean, it's definitely up there. It's not like no one wears Jordans or buys them. It's definitely one of the ones. I feel like the players, the real NBA players, wear them.
Yeah. Well, one of the topics with Dr. Bates coming up is obviously the Achilles injuries, and the NBA thinks it's such a they want to get to the bottom of it if there's something to get to the bottom of, or it may just be happenstance. I get that.
The high top thing.
But yeah, one of the things that's been talked about across social the last week or two, because this has now become a big talking point with the NBA. I mean, they're losing guys. And you can see on social media, they'll show you, and I remember this because I was a fan back in 70s and 80s. I'm old enough. The 70s, Dr. J and Kareem starting out, and all these great players. And the late 70s, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, through the 80s, they basically all wore Converse. And they weren't.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything.
And now they were, at the time, good, solid basketball shoes, more than just the basic Chuck Taylor, you know what I mean, that you could buy.
Right.
But they weren't these fancy shoes. And a lot of people are starting to point out, I don't know if this is true or not, because sometimes we forget years ago, but they're going, well, why were these guys in the 70s and 80s with basically flat shoes, but the plethora of Achilles injuries did not seem to be popping up? Might it have something to do with the shoe? I'm going to ask Doctor that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not, I mean, I've heard that theory kind of floated around a little bit. I mean, there definitely could potentially be
And the older
guys,
the 60s, 70s, 80s NBA guys and college guys, they just about all wore high tops, and they tied them tight, right? Nowadays, the low and mid cut are the thing to wear, not the high top. right? Think about your NBA player. You don't see that big, what looks like a heavy shoe because it comes up past, what is the knot on your ankle?
According to just this kind of AI search I just did real quick, it says that the high tops could potentially make you more susceptible to Achilles tendon injuries.
Susceptible, yeah. Well, but
because of the way your ankle is locked in and with the tightness.
But you have to go back and say, well, most of those NBA guys nowadays are wearing mid to low cut.
Right.
And they're still getting them. So, it is worth exploring.
Yeah.
It is worth exploring with Dr. Bates and just exploring with this commission that's, the study that the NBA is going to fund. Has the basketball shoe leaned too far fashion and not far enough, not back to functionality?
That's part of it for sure.
You wonder.
A lot of the actual Jordans can't be worn in a game. You got to get like a special type of. You can't just get any Jordan.
Yeah, you remember. And this is terrible to say, but you remember back when the Jordan was really popular. It was the tennis shoe, really popular, and obviously it's always had a big price tag.
Yeah,
and I mean, I hate to say this, but there were kids getting killed for their shoes.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you see them wearing the $200 shoes. That's like having a $200 bill.
In the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah.
People were beating up and at times, I think, killing kids. They would to steal their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? I mean, that was a thing. It was a terrible thing.
Somewhat, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it was a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a thing. Let me see if there's any other baseball updates. I'm looking forward to talking to Dr. Bates today, as we always do on Wednesdays. Our Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, sports medicine. I think that's going to be the one and only topic. Detroit 11-2 over Washington. I think we gave you that. Milwaukee 7-2. So yeah, nothing else until about 6:15. So we got all the baseball in, but man, baseball's heating up. Really, really. Heating up. And, Zach, you realize the line of demarcation comes up on Friday.
For the MLB midway point?
Well, no. Football.
Oh.
I always consider once we get past 4th of July, I think it's pretty much football season.
Yeah, back before I became a full-blown addict. Yeah, that was when I used to begin doing fantasy football drafts. Was July 4th.
Yeah. So we are really.
If you had to guess how many fantasy football drafts I've begun for the year 2025, what would you guess?
Have you started already?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I started about a week after the draft.
Am I guessing how many leagues you'll be in? Is that what I'm guessing here?
Well, okay, they're not leagues because this is best ball, which means I just had to do the draft, and there's no like managing the team, so you can kind of do a lot of them and not really have to worry about it.
So I would guess you have completed 8 different fantasy league drafts.
It's a little more than that.
Really? What a nerd alert.
I plan on finishing the summer with about 100 finished.
Now, are there costs associated with it?
Oh, yeah, this is on DraftKings. I do best ball on DraftKings.
How much? So you just bet what you want?
So some of it is I've kind of taken my winnings from last year and just pyramid schemed it right back into this year's entry fees.
And why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, keep the ball rolling.
Exactly.
Why not?
Your kid only needs a half a loaf of bread. Who needs a whole loaf of bread?
Look, man, if I can hit a
bread?
home run with one of these, we'll be eating a lot more than bread. She doesn't eat bread. All she eats is chicken nuggets, and they have to be from McDonald's, and then she eats noodles. It's ridiculous. I can't get this kid to eat anything.
You've probably been ordering the 6 nugget. She can get by with 3. Give us the 3.
She puts down a solid 10 nuggets.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? If you put a fancy New York City restaurant steak on a plate.
Definitely not.
If you put a fancy escargot, whatever that is.
Oh God, definitely that. That's definitely.
You think of the fanciest food you could put on a plate, 5 or 6 foods, and then you put the last thing on the plate was chicken nuggets or chicken fingers. Every kid in the world would go for the chicken fingers.
Yeah, I think that my kid is
amazing.
literally the pickiest. She wouldn't eat chicken fingers either. It's got to be chicken nuggets, and
Chicken
they
nuggets.
can't be Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. Those aren't good.
Have you tried to trick her
I hope
with
there's any endorsements going on. Oh, we tried the
trick her
tricking.
with the bag?
We can do specific ones from the frozen section.
But can you trick her with the bag? Like, look at that.
She would recognize.
Look, this is your bag you
She would
like
know.
from your place you like.
No,
Look
she
at
would.
this.
She would know. She'd
Mommy-
be like, "Why are they like this?"
Mommy just got back from this favorite place of yours.
But she's the most ridiculous. Like even we got chocolate chip pancakes and with syrup on it. Yeah, great thing. Any kids would pitch fits to have this.
I'm
breakfast.
about to pitch a fit.
They want this for breakfast. She gagged on it, and she likes chocolate.
Hell,
I know. I want to send her back. I like everything. No, I like everything about her, but she just doesn't eat. Just won't eat
well,
things.
check your warranty on her.
I've looked into it.
Yes, check your warranty. You could probably.
There's no eating warranty. There's no instruction manual at all, or maybe I threw it away and misplaced it.
The hell's wrong with this kid?
I don't know. She just doesn't like eating things, and part of
Did
it's
she eat like mush when she was a kid? Any kind of mush? Little baby food? Or was she picky then?
She
Was
would
she
eat that
picky
type
then?
she would eat that type of stuff and not really fuss about it. She'll eat like avocados.
Ooh, I love
So yeah, a few like she'll even eat. So she'll eat a few like healthy type things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean and like if we get a cheese quesadilla like from certain restaurants,
Right.
we have to tell them to cook it very lightly. And if they don't cook it lightly, if there's brown, she's like, no, it's burnt. I'm like, oh my god, man.
You mentioned avocado.
Yeah.
And I kind of did the same thing when I was a kid. I had to grow out. I think it's inherent on most kids. Anything green they don't want to eat.
Green's bad. By
I didn't want it
default.
when I was a kid. I didn't mess with green beans or asparagus, fried pickles. Anything
None of that
green.
stuff.
But as I got older, I love everything green. Everything.
Yeah, things change.
Yeah.
I was always into the broccoli. I can usually get down with it.
Oh, broccoli now, man. But as a kid,
Yeah.
and what about the old? You can't get up from the table till you eat it. How about that battle?
Oh, yeah.
How about that battle?
Yeah.
How many families have had that battle for hours?
It probably destroys select families.
I think it does. Let's take a break. Hopefully, we've got Dr. Bates trying to jump in here. Want to talk to him about the NBA. Boy, they're kind of putting the gauntlet down, really trying to find out, is there anything to all these recent Achilles tendon injuries, or is it just, the rub of the green a little bit? We'll talk to Dr. Bates about that from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and we'll also kick off hour number 2, the Young and Norvelle Show. Hour 2 kicks off right here on Action Sports Jack.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Baker Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School. Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School. Tony Mazzio, Sandalwood High School, class of 2002. Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with We Are Martyr rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is down. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
And welcome back here. It is hour number 2. We kick it off on a Wednesday Hump Day edition of the Young and Norvelle Show here on Action Sports Jacks. And everybody knows that I'm a helper. I just want to help people. So I'm about to help Dr. Aaron Bates, our buddy, who joins us every Wednesday from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Dr. Bates, I know you are wrestling right now with vacation destination, what to do. You know, you and the wife, the family, you do the same thing probably year after year. Okay, I got it for you. You ready, Dr. Bates? I got it for you. And I went ahead, and I'm not sure we've got your volume on. We'll try and get you up. I went ahead. I hope you don't mind. I went ahead and I booked this for you guys. Okay? I booked this for you guys. I don't know if you've spent much time in Chicago. And Zach, can we show the photo? This is where you guys are going to go. Let's throw this up here for a second, Dr. Bates. And if you could take a look there, that's the gate to get to the compound that I went ahead and booked you guys. Have you spent much time in Chicago, Dr. Bates? Uh-oh, we don't hear him. Doc, we don't hear you. Uh-oh, let's get him to hit that button. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound great, Doc. Doc, okay. I'm sending you and the family to Chicago. Is that okay? I went ahead and booked it for you guys.
Yeah, it's fine. We spent some time in Chicago.
Okay, have you ever spent
any
time in the Highland Park area? I think it's kind of a hoity-toity area.
No, I never made it that far.
Did you maybe stumble into a little mansion called Champions Point in Highland Park? No?
Did not. No.
Well, good, because this is all good, because I went and booked you and the lovely family. That is Michael Jordan's former compound in Highland Park. Okay, so 7.39 acres, Airbnb. I've Airbnb'd it for you. 7 bedrooms, 17 and a half baths. 12. It accommodates 12 guests, so you can bring some friends if you'd like. It has a theater, a gym, a cigar lounge, a wine cellar, multiple pool tables, a saltwater aquarium, of course, a full-size basketball court. It was bought last year. Michael sold it because it's not quite good enough, I guess. 9.5. You can rent this place 7-day minimum, $100,000 a week.
Book it. It's on you.
Yeah, you got it. I got it on you. And I didn't think you'd mind. I called your secretary.
Yeah,
I borrowed your business card. So good for you guys. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, Doc.
Thank you.
It's funny we mentioned Michael Jordan. That literally is on air. You can literally go to Airbnb, and the guy that bought it, he's not living there. An investment real estate guy. He bought it for $9 million not long ago, and he literally is Airbnb it out for $100,000. Yeah, for
Week.
one. You got to get it a week. You can't get it for one day. $100,000 for the week. $100,000.
It could be a good investment for him.
I think it will.
How it goes.
Zach and I were talking. I think that son of a gun, if you market it a little bit, I think he'll be turning down people. Don't you?
Yeah, I mean, he has a certain clientele that he's going to be marketing to.
Yeah.
Certainly not me.
And, I'm not going to say this out loud because, well, I'm not going to say, Diddy's probably looking for a place to have a party. Right? I mean, Diddy's throwing a party soon, right?
He's got to get back on the horse.
Dr. Bates, you said that. You said that I didn't. Ay. Zachary, where are we at, man? Zach, where are we at here?
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
Oh, boy, Dr. Bates with a roundhouse. Friggin' Chuck Norris. Dr. Bates with a Chuck Norris here on a Wednesday. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, Doc, Michael Jordan, basketball player. You've probably heard now, the NBA, I'm not going to say they're drawing a line in the sand, but the NBA is commissioning a study now, and I'm assuming they're going to the tip top. They've got money. And I want you to tell us how studies are handled. Where do you go to commission a medical study? The NBA now is said to be commissioning a study on, can they find anything out that may be a tip-off to why they're having so many Achilles injuries. They've had 7 this year. This season, Halliburton was the 7th. Last year, the NBA said they had 0. And the NBA said, historically, the most they've ever had in one basketball season was 4. So they're a little bit, perplexed, but they've commissioned a study. Doc, first and foremost, how would a medical study, where do you go? Do you get asked the questions? How would a medical study of this happen? Where do you start? I don't even know where to start.
Well, studies in general, there's different levels to study, from level 1 to level 4. Obviously, level 1 study is probably the best study you can get. It's a randomized controlled trial. It's very difficult to do a study
Sure.
of orthopedics because it takes a long time.
Yeah.
You need certain follow-up, at least 2 years, 24 months, to make it worthwhile. And there's certain things you have to look at. You have to control for certain variables.
Yeah.
And so you have to look, you can't look at everything. You can try to look at multiple things, but it's harder when you do that. So you try to look at 1 or 2 things to really look at, okay, how can we help prevent the injuries in the future?
Right.
But there are 2 glaring points that I think about over this past year. One is there truly a correlation between calf strains and Achilles tendon ruptures? In my teaching, we really didn't notice that.
Okay.
Those are 2 separate injuries. So I'm sure they're going to look at that. Does the calf strain, do they change the kinetics or the stress on the Achilles, may make more of a stress on Achilles that cause it to rupture? The other thing is typical teaching for Achilles tendon ruptures, the age is about from 30 to 40.
Okay.
Now you're seeing like Halliburton, 25.
Yeah.
Tatum, 27.
Yeah.
Is there something there?
Yeah.
That they're doing as NBA players that's, giving them a higher risk for these injuries? I don't know. Maybe they're looking at that. I'm sure they're going to look at some other things too. But the basic premise of this is how can we cut down on these injuries?
Yeah. And are there any similarities? Are there, right? You mentioned the control study, and you mentioned the calf versus the Achilles. That's getting a lot of talk right now. Obviously, Durant had a calf that I don't want to say turned into, because we don't know that. We don't know if it turned into an Achilles. Right. But Halliburton also, and you know how the public at large, Halliburton had a calf, and then he had Achilles. So people putting 2 and 2 together. This study may come out and put that to bed, right? It may say there is no relationship.
Correct.
Also, in a weird way, Doc, when you talk about there's got to be a control group, is this a matter of, and we all watch TV and listen to radio, we all hear the this medical issue, they're looking for people to become part of the study. Maybe it's a glaucoma, maybe it's a whatever. Is this a situation where they will send out, we're looking for people that want to play basketball? Are they just going to get, because they almost need some Achilles ruptures in the control group, don't they, in a weird way?
Well, not necessarily. It depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at everyone with Achilles ruptures and those that had calf issues before that, yeah. So the control would be Achilles tendon ruptures in folks that didn't have any calf strains before versus Achilles tendon ruptures that folks that have had calf strains. And so you could do it any number of ways. But if you take someone off the street and try to compare them to a professional athlete,
that's a good point.
There's some bias there.
Apples to oranges. But am I correct? I would think one of the first jump off points to start this commission study would be the NBA. Obviously, must say, hey, whoever they hire to do this. I'm sure there are groups that do these type of things, these medical commission studies. The NBA says, here's all of our data. Here's every guy. If you want to know, and things I would want to know, give me the Achilles guys over the last 10 years, 50, whatever. The NBA is going to give that to them, right? They're going to say, here's all of our data. We're going to tell you who had it, what age they had it. I would want to know. Say that again.
When during the season?
That's on my list. When did it happen? Because I have heard that the majority of these, now Halliburton's not part of this, but I heard that the majority of these recent ones were all before the All-Star break in the NBA, meaning not game 80, not game 75, a lot of them. But I would want to know the age. I would want to know what position did they play. I would imagine it's more guards and small forward. Yeah, I would want to know their height and weight over the last few years. Did the majority of them have it, and they were lugging around an extra 10 pounds? I would want to know
were bunch they playing of offense. Were they playing defense?
Great point. That is a great freaking point right there. Were they exploding with the ball going forward? Were they backpedaling and changing directions yeah, great. But the NBA will provide all that, right?
They should, yes.
They
have a database. I mean, all the athletic trainers and the medical staff, they keep a database, all this information of all the injuries throughout the year and everything that you just talked about.
And Doc, I don't know this, but I would surmise that the big power forwards and centers don't get I don't have any data, but I would imagine your big power forward and centers who don't really leap off the court and don't really fly down the court and change direction, I would imagine they don't have as many as the 6'4" guard. Do you think I'm right there?
Yeah, anecdotally, just kind of thinking back, I really don't see that either. It's more the explosive guys.
Yeah.
That are just changing direction, accelerating from a dead stop. And, just like Tatum had his and Halliburton and who was the third for the Bucks?
Oh, yeah. I can't think of his name. I know who you're talking about exactly. And, you just made a good point also. Even Halliburton, a lot of times we think we saw it. Wow, a lot of times they just fall down and you go, I didn't see anything traumatic, but they went down and they can't get up.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, Doc. Is there a chance that a study like this will come back and maybe it's just human evolution? Maybe the athlete just has advanced to the point. Could that be part of it? It's just the athlete has advanced, the modern athlete, more than the 1975 athlete. Maybe the human body has just gotten bigger, stronger, too big. I don't know. Maybe evolution.
Bigger, stronger, faster. That happens year over year. But the other thing is there a training change?
Say that again. A what?
A training change.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
that's predisposing them to this type of injury. Because they're all in the off season, they kind of train with their individual
Their own
trainers.
thing, yeah, sure.
Has things come up that are done now
Yeah.
in training that are predisposing them to this?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, and obviously another part of a data point. Some people are saying just too many freaking games, just too much workload.
Yeah.
It
could be.
Am I correct, or is this just too generic? Is the basketball Achilles injury the baseball Tommy John? Are those kind of?
In what respect are you saying about that?
Gosh darn, the Tommy John just seems like it's just taken over the game, and that's the nasty baseball injury. The Tommy John, UCL, I think it is?
UCL, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and it's the most talked about one.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
You go through these different, they kind of take turns. We always say as orthopedists, things come in threes. You may not see something for a long time, like a pec tendon rupture, but then you'll see three of them.
Really?
Yeah. We don't know why that happens, but it does. And so there's been a rash of Achilles tendon ruptures, and they should look at it. But it could just be a coincidental thing as well.
Yeah, interesting. As there's going to be this type of study, though, I think you referenced earlier when we first started talking. By the way, we're talking to Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, really focusing today, as we do every Wednesday, on different sports injuries. Today, the NBA is really starting to want to get to the bottom, if there's a bottom to be gotten to, where, why, how come all these Achilles injuries. Doc, I think you said earlier in our discussion, this study that's going to be commissioned, you would imagine this is a multi-year. This is going to take multiple years to really get a final report. Is that right?
Yes.
This isn't a 6-month thing.
No, if it is a 6-month thing, you're not going to get great results out.
Get great results. Okay, last thing, Doc, and man, this has been fascinating. I know Patrick, he's had a medical procedure. By the way, nothing bad, just normal. But he was dying to get back on for this this discussion. I'm gonna try and throw this out in two parts. Number one, I would imagine a study like this is extremely expensive. I've got to believe this is an extremely expensive. With that as the backdrop, I hope that the NBA does not. I hope the NBA doesn't let Nike call up and say, "Hey, we'll pay for that," or Reebok, "We'll pay," because I wonder. They've got to also look at the shoe. I think they've got to look at the shoe. Is the basketballs, because word is we weren't having these in the 70s and 80s, and they had basic Chuck Taylors, just a little bit more advanced than what you would just wear around, but they had basic shoes, and I don't remember all these Achilles. With that said, I've heard whispers, is the modern basketball shoe, has it gone too far fashion and not enough functionality? And the high cut versus the mid cut versus, the guys don't wear the high cuts anymore, and the kids on the street don't wear them. I would imagine they're going to look at the shoe as well, aren't they?
They should. That's a big part of it. And, whether it's more for fashion or not just that, maybe it's over engineered. Could it be over engineered?
Great phrase. Great phrase. Maybe over freaking engineered. But I hope the last thing I want to see is Nike paid for the study. No. I don't want that. That smells.
Brings bias into it.
Absolutely. That would smell if they said Reebok and Nike and whoever they're paying for this. No, NBA. No, do not let the shoe company pay for the study. And they'd love to.
Yeah, but NBA has enough.
They got a few dollars.
They can fund that.
They got a few dollars. All right, Doc, anything else you think you need to add to this fascinating discussion? And again, I don't think we'll have any results, if you will, for quite a while. But it is interesting that the NBA, 7 in a year, coming off 0, coming off 4 was the most. I don't blame them. They're trying to protect their game and their player, right?
Yeah, you said something before about, said most of them were before the All-Star break.
Yes.
But it was, if of the 7, only 4 were before, because 3 were in the playoffs.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
I don't
So that's
know if
close.
that really
That's real close. Yeah.
tells us anything.
But man, this would be fascinating to see all these results when they come in. Like I said, age. We're 6 of these 7. I'm just throwing things out. We're 6 of the 7 last year. Were these guys a little over their weight that they've had for the last 5 years? Were they all guards? You made a great point, I thought, as you always do. Were they suffered while the guy had the ball on offense versus playing defense?
Yeah.
Fascinating, because you would just think that offense would be more of a potential snappage.
Yeah.
Because the offensive guy goes, he explodes.
Right.
Then
defense, you're kind of on your heels
reactive.
sometimes.
And
you're
you're
on your heels, but you're reacting.
Yeah.
And maybe sliding from side to side and not really pushing forward.
Nice. Good stuff, Doc. I do believe you guys are on vacation, though, coming up, right?
Yeah. It's starting next week.
Can you tell us where, or is that too personal? What are you doing?
No, we're going on a Mediterranean cruise that my wife has been planning for 2 years, so I better not miss this one.
No, you better not.
No.
You better not. So, okay, I'll call Chicago, and we'll do that for next year, because they've already got your deposit.
And you can save up for the rest over the next year. To pay the rest of
they needed $50K, so I hope you don't mind. You've got $50K frozen on your account, so don't spend that, okay?
Gotcha.
Hey, safe trip. Great stuff as always, and I look forward to hearing about that trip. Look forward to hearing about that.
Definitely.
All right, we'll talk to you in a couple.
You guys in a few weeks.
Couple weeks. You got it.
Yeah.
That's our buddy, Dr. Aaron Bates. Boy, I knew it was going to be good today. Good stuff. Sharp guy, really adds to our show, and we really appreciate Dr. Bates and, of course, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. All right, let's take a break. We hope to have Brent Beaird at the bottom of the hour. Some college football stuff, including the SEC and the Big Ten. They're kind of having a dust-up. I'm not so sure that's a bad thing. I'll explain my theory on the other side. We are cruising through hour number 2. It is a hump day edition, the Wednesday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show on Action Sports Jacks. Zach, you learned a little bit there?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
All right, we're back here. As promised, 5:30 is rolling around here, and that is our time to hook up with our buddy Brent Beaird. Got some college sports news and notes to get to. Brent, number one, welcome. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Glad to be on. A little stormy out there, but
yeah,
that's no big deal. We made it. And that's all that matters.
How about this? Today, twice I was out and about. I wasn't outside, but twice as I had a lunch meeting and then a second meeting and then came in. Twice the bottom dropped out. It rained like cats and dogs for 20 minutes, and twice today, 20 minutes went by, stopped raining, sun came out, and it's more humid than you can imagine outside.
Oh yeah.
Here's a humidity story for you. Today, this morning, I still every month I still send a few things out in the mail, a regular mail, you know.
Yeah.
So I use envelopes a couple times a month. I have to send stuff out. This has happened before, but it's always summertime. I go to my envelopes, you know, I buy a box of envelopes, and this happened again. It's happened before. This time of year, even indoors, it can be so humid. The envelopes, they self-adhese because they get and they're stuck together.
Right.
And I haven't stuck them together, but because of the humidity, the glue I got to take a butter knife and you can steam them open and get a butter knife. How about that? How about that for heat? Brent, I got a couple things. I know you've got a bunch. We got 30 minutes with Brent Beaird. I want to lead off with one thing. I think the University of Florida dropped the ball on something. The word is, and I'm taking this for the word, but the word is the University of Florida did not buy the Final Four court that they won the national title on a couple months ago. And the history is the winning team has the option, the national championship team has the option to buy the court.
Yeah.
Supposedly Florida did not. Now they bought the 05 or whatever, 06, those two. I think they bought both of those. And you can do anything you want with them. Well, Florida supposedly, Brent, I think Florida, if that's true, they missed an opportunity. Why would you not have bought the court? You're the University of Florida. You got tons of money. Yeah. Why would you not then, if you don't want to use it somewhere, put it in one of your gyms or why wouldn't you then not cut it up for auction for sale and give the proceeds to your players?
Yeah.
Nowadays.
That was bizarre. I'm not sure about that. I'd be curious what what a Final Four court would cost.
Yeah, I would imagine a couple $100,000.
It'd have to be, wouldn't it?
But I mean, you're the University of Florida. You're going to make a lot of money by winning that title. Why would you not have bought it, sold it, and said, "Hey, we're in the era of professional college athletes. We're going to give it to the players, the profit."
Yeah. Oh, sure,
absolutely. I thought that was a missed opportunity. If that is true. Hey, Brent, I want to lead off with something. I know you've got a bunch of stuff. We talked earlier this week and last week, I think. It's pretty common knowledge the SEC and the Big Ten are butting heads a little bit, okay? And that's going to happen in big business. Yeah. You've got two giants in an industry, and they're having some disagreements. They're only now just starting to play together, right? I mean, they're the you know. And I got thinking this morning, I'm not so sure the SEC and the Big Ten butting heads a little bit is not a good thing. And I'm going to explain it, and I want your thoughts.
Okay.
My theory is, okay, they're the big boys. They've got the bigger seat at the table, and that's never going to change. If I'm the SEC and the Big Ten, I would think, hey, guys, listen, we might want to speed up this super conference where you and I are the only voice at the table because even though if the SEC and the Big Ten are having some disagreements, and they're always going to do that, the last thing I think you want is the ACC and the Big 12 and maybe even the Group of Five or the Pac-12. I think if they have a little voice, that's still going to muddy the water. Maybe this could speed things up where the SEC and the Big Ten said, hey, we're the decision makers. We don't need two or three little brothers also muddying up the water. I'm going to look at it like that. I hope this would speed up a super conference.
It might. That's a possibility. I mean, if they continue to get like no cooperation from the other conferences, something like that, I could see that happening. The concern here, people haven't heard what Terry's talking about, is the disagreement here is the ACC likes the 4-4 format. The SEC more like basically the coaches, the 5-11. So they're disagreeing on that. And again, the Big Ten wants 4-4 because of the academic quarter system. Which sounds like a weird reason to a lot of fans, but the Big Ten has a big academic reputation, and that's something that is very important to them. I've got to think, Terry, that they are going to, for the sake of the game, get something together soon. They don't meet again until September 24th in Chicago at the Big Ten headquarters. So that would be the commissioners. Commissioners, look, you can't tell me these guys are some of the wealthiest men in the world, some of the smartest men in the world. I mean, you've got to believe they've got to get something done on Zoom. Or Terry, you know good and well, they've got access to a private plane probably a certain number of times a year, and that they could meet at least for a day and get something hammered out.
I totally agree, but man, I just look around and I would like for the SEC and the Big Ten to go, hey, we need to cut out any other voices. We know we're going to be the two big voices, the only two at some point. Let's speed this up. So the ACC, it should just be the SEC and the Big Ten ratifying things. To hell with the ACC. To hell with the Big 12.
Well, it's funny you said that because, and not much has been said about this, but they had the SEC and the Big Ten gave the other conferences basically a memorandum to sign. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
And they all signed it.
Yes,
and what that means is, and this is frankly to your point, what that means is it gave the Big Ten and the SEC basically the final decision-making ability to do that. And I'm wondering how many times that Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey have reminded the others of what they signed.
Yeah, we've got that signed document. But yeah, I you know it's coming. You know that the Big Ten and the SEC are going to run it all, and they should. It's going to be a super conference, and they should. I wouldn't mind this kind of helping speed that up a little bit and saying, you know what, we're going to butt heads. You and I are going to butt heads. SEC, Big Ten, SEC. We're going to butt heads, but we're partners. We don't need a second and third and fourth little voice chirping in. We'll tell you, little guys, how it's going to work. So maybe I'm the optimist. Brent, before we get to some of your stuff, I just want to throw this out. Obviously, we hit the big day yesterday. July 1st. Now we know the money can legally come from the schools. And I know there's a big group that says, man, this is going to kill college athletics, the loss of amateurism. And I think that's a true statement, the loss of amateurism.
Yes, no question.
Now, I will say this, and I want your comment. It's just a theory out there. I think the bigger threat, and people think, oh, my God, this is a huge threat to college athletics, the loss of amateurism. I think the loss of amateurism pales in comparison to gambling.
Yeah.
I think if anything ever brought sports down and college sports down, and I hope nothing ever does, I think gambling is way more likely to bring down college athletics than the lack of amateurism. What do you think?
Well, look, there's no doubt there's signs everywhere on in the athletic buildings about gambling, and frankly, we don't even know how deep and wide that gambling is. Yeah. At your average school, whoever it might be, because that's going on all the time. I mean, the NCAA is. I mean, listen, they'll almost put people in jail for gambling. Because it hurts the integrity of the game. So I frankly would concur with that. I'll tell you that another thing up there with gambling that's really going to upset the apple cart is just inactivity. What I mean by that is,
what do you mean by that?
Is not being able to make a blooming decision.
Yeah, good point.
On the portal, on the format, on OTAs, on early signing day. Yeah. Does that make some sense?
It really does. It really does. If you are, it is like college sports, college football right now has been working on which security measure we want to use while the bank is getting robbed.
Yeah.
Right? While the bank is the bank. Right. Well, maybe this, maybe that. Let's. How do we secure? Do we need cameras? Do we need? And the bank is steadily getting robbed. Yeah. Because they can't figure out how to secure it. What means to secure it?
Yeah. It's like that commercial with the two Dobermans talking to each other, and the bank robbers are right behind them that are breaking into the house, and then some alarm security system gets them. So but no, so these are the things that are because again, and you and I've talked about this now for months, is if you start making some decisions, then you start making other decisions.
Sure.
And pretty soon you've got this. And again, as you mentioned the other day, the issue here is they've got deadlines. This is not just, well, we get this done whenever we want to. No, that's not the case. Their biggest deadline is December 1. Yeah. December 1 for the format. And then if they want to go the SEC to 8 or 9, and that's another sticking point. The Big 10 is already at 9 conference games. They want the SEC to be at 9. Yeah. And the SEC's dragging their feet on that. And again, you and I both know these coaches are they're reluctant, and they don't make the final decision, but they don't like it, Terry, because they know if we lose one more game and we go to a 9th, we may not be able to make the playoff.
And I can understand that. that. Let's just say Big 10 SEC. If Big 10 is doing 9 of 12 conference games, SEC is doing 8 of 12. And, you know, you've got Southern Miss, if you're Florida,
Yeah.
game 10,
Mhm.
and Ohio State has game 9, Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It really and the game as a whole, the Division I college game, will be a better game if everybody goes 9 conference games.
Yeah.
And also if everybody can finally decide only schedule Power 4. I think
Yes.
as long as everybody does it, it's equal footing, and you're not penalizing yourself. And frankly, we've talked about this, Brent. College football is slowly mirroring the NFL. The NFL, you might have good team scheduled to play bad team that year in the NFL, but that bad team is not a AAA team. It's still an NFL team.
Yeah.
It's not from the WAC or the MAC. If it was a college team, if they're in the same, if all their scheduled games are in the same pool, then you can really make selections.
Well, here's the other thing they've got to deal with, and the commissioners are adamant about this. They want this committee. They're telling them, we have got to have some assurances that strength of schedule means something to you guys a lot more than it did last year. Because we got teams in the playoffs that had a strength of schedule, Terry, of between 70 and 100, basically.
Yes.
And we got teams who missed the playoffs. So that's another issue here.
Yeah.
And look, I did a podcast last night with Travis Ryer that I do on occasion. And this same thing came up about Florida. Now, follow my logic here. Okay, last year you had to be at least 10-2 or better to get the playoffs.
Yeah.
9-3 didn't cut it. Okay, here's my argument with Florida. If Florida's 9-3, with that schedule, in the strength of that schedule, and their losses are to what? Texas, Georgia, and Ole Miss.
Yeah, or Ole Miss, yeah.
Something like that. You can't, and look, with that schedule, if they're 9-3, if that committee, help me on this, if that committee does not take into consideration strength of schedule, they need to get rid of the committee. If that happens, frankly.
Yeah, totally. And especially if one of the losses, and maybe the separating loss, was a non-conference game that Florida scheduled because they thought strength of schedule was going to be a factor, and then actually they cut their own nose off by scheduling a Miami or a Florida State. And I get it, I don't want Florida State to go away, but you know, if I'm gonna play a big time non-conference team, and you can't punish me more than you lauded me for scheduling them.
Right, exactly.
If everybody doesn't schedule like that, then I'm cutting my own nose off, probably.
Well, and you brought this up numerous times, and it bears repeating. One of their goals, and they're not saying this out loud, but as far as these commissioners and the future of the game, one of their goals is get rid of this committee.
I've seen that more and more. Yep. And again, the NFL, the NFL, Brent, I think you and I do a good job. We don't want to bury college football because it is kind of scattershot right now. It's also in the first 5 years. The NFL took decades. The NFL took decades to figure out all this.
Sure.
But you're so right about that. You're so right about that. The NFL doesn't say, okay, into the regular season, we know our conference division, NFL, we know our division winners. They're all in. Okay, we're going to have a show tomorrow as our committee picks the rest of the wild cards. No, the NFL has figured it out. It's on the field. They don't have committees. You got to take the committees out.
Well, look, and I was never a fan of the BCS, but I will give them this kind of credit, though. I would not be opposed. Would you? Even with some kind of a computer situation, just to slot the teams. That there's got to be enough software out there.
Yeah.
That is dependable enough to where you could do that. Look, I mean, Terry, realistically, all you got to do is be able to slot 12. Well, I know they go 25, but to get 12 teams or 16 eventually. And if you can do that, then just what you're talking about is you match them up like the NFL does, and you're able to have basically your playoff tournament. Tell me that would not be impossible to do.
Yeah, it sounds very plausible, very easy. I don't know if I'm wrong about this. I think this follows on what you just said. I would feel more comfortable if feeding data into a computer, like you said, the software is built in and to the point where it's good enough. I would feel more comfortable feeding it into a computer and them spitting out the at-large teams than a committee.
Yeah.
And I know the data that goes in is human-fed data, but to me, the old and some people say, "Well, Terry, you scream about committees. March Madness has a committee." Well, if I had my druthers with March Madness, there wouldn't be 330 teams that have to be picked from. I would have the major super conferences filling out the 64 because those are the legitimate schools that can win it anyway.
Yeah, agreed.
You know? Interesting. Yeah. Brent, I saw your notes. Are there some other things? We got about 10 minutes left. Are there some other things we need to hit before we get out of here?
I'm struck with terror.
Oh, no.
That the red panda.
Yeah, what about that? That was sad.
The red panda had an accident.
I know.
Now, first of all, we need to explain this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pretty much everybody knows who the red panda is. The red panda basically is a woman that's on a, Terry, would you call that a unicycle, I guess?
It's like an extended unicycle.
Yeah. And look, it's not, Terry, it's not like she's 5 feet off the ground, right?
No.
She's a lot closer to what? 50 feet off the ground than
she's up there. She's up there on that thing. This is a high unicycle.
Oh, yeah.
She could easily dunk a basketball if she rode it over there by the basket.
And I don't ever remember this happening to you, that she actually fell off the unicycle and had to be have some medical attention, injured her wrist. She went unconscious. Don't have a real other date, but this woman's from China, came to the U.S. at 19, moved to Orlando, moved to San Francisco, and began performing in 1993.
Yeah, how about that?
I didn't know this. She was featured on season 8 of America's Got Talent.
Hell yeah.
In 2013.
And it was a shame because I think everybody, even if you didn't pay attention at halftime, I think everybody has been at a sporting event and she's performed. I've seen her in Gainesville. Obviously, she's very big at basketball because indoor, smooth court. But that was a sad story. I think she's going to be okay. But she's done that probably 1,000 times and had no mishaps.
Oh yeah. Now we've got to study this a little bit, but what broke today is the NCAA approving a one-time transfer portal window.
Okay.
Believe it or not, from July the 7th through August the 5th.
Okay.
They don't expect a lot to happen with that necessarily. Okay. It's the result of the NCAA committee again on the legislative relief decisions to issue a waiver that allows certain players to enter the transfer portal.
And did I hear you say that's just for this year to kind of clean something up? So this won't, because that's an awkward time for a full-time portal, but this is trying to clean up some back stuff. It sounds like.
Yeah. It's a one-time deal. Frankly,
Well, that's coming up.
Yeah, July 7th. In order to get in there, this is a great thing about timing here, being together today, is when things like this break, we talk about it. But the player is called a designated student athlete. Which, now get this, which is limited to players that teams don't want to count against the 105-man player roster. Okay.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Okay. I don't know how much more we want to get into that to cause confusion on people. But I wanted to throw that out there. Do you see the Heisman odds?
Yes, go over some of those.
The Manning's won, and even though Steve Spurrier disagrees,
don't tell the head ball coach that.
No, Manning. Okay, let me see if you agree with the top five. Arch Manning, Texas. Garrett Nussmeier, LSU.
I agree with that.
Kate Klubnik has really climbed the ladder.
I've seen that, and he's been around a long time.
4, I don't know about this. Drew Allar from Penn State.
He would scare me because I've put chips in on him before, and he disappoints.
Yeah. Now Jeremiah Smith is the wide receiver.
I can see that.
Now, okay, so 4, 5. Number 6 is DJ Lagway.
5-game case study. Okay, I can live with that more than Arch Manning.
Yep, 17
because I've seen him play more than Arch Manning.
Okay, what about Lenore Sellers?
Okay, I can see that.
7. 8 is
dual threat.
Is more from Oregon, and 9. Let's see if I did this right. 9 is Julian Sane from Ohio State,
and that's another one. That's another one of those stretches because I haven't seen him play.
No, well, nobody has.
Yeah,
and then you've got it's either 10 or 11 is Carson Beck. Now beyond that, the odds are ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, Mateer at Oklahoma was 30-1.
Yeah.
So Manning, Nussmeier, Klubnik, Allar, and Smith are your top 5, Terry. How about that?
Manning and Allar, for different reasons, scare me. Allar's played a lot. He just hasn't wowed me. Manning, I haven't seen play. Interesting. Brent, before we get out of here, we got a minute to go. Looks like some Gator recruiting news just hit. Looks like Florida got a commitment earlier today from a big defensive lineman, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, Kendall Gurville. Seems to be a 4-star recruit that the word I'm reading, Florida beats out Texas for a priority DL recruit. So Florida's summer recruiting upswing continues. We'll discuss this all summer, but boy, do I see a lot of Napier. Billy Napier has to grow up, I think, like Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart finally figured out, I got to give up some of this game day decision stuff.
Yes.
Until I see Napier do that, I'm a nervous wreck with Florida football.
Well, look, and we've talked about this for a while, and it's not going to change. He still needs a special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be important. But the last thing I'll say is Florida, Georgia, and Alabama are absolutely on fire. And I mean on fire with recruiting right now.
Yeah, going real good. So we'll end it on that. Excellent stuff, Mr. Beaird. Look forward to Friday as we will. No, we're off Friday. Look forward to Monday. We'll get back together with Brent Beaird and talk some more college football. That'll wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed the Wednesday edition. Tomorrow live from Sliders. Catch the next edition of the Young and Norvelle Show.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.